All right, so let's go over to the Ernesto video that he put up yesterday because what I honestly saw last night was pretty appalling. I'm like just the overall contents of that video. I can't believe that he even sat there and uploaded that with a straight face. To be honest, I'm very disappointed in Ernesto. So for those of you guys who aren't in the loop of what happened, so last night Ernesto made he made a second channel a couple days ago, but last night he basically interviewed rooflemonger and he had him on there. Now keep in mind, this is a pre-recorded video. It was not a live stream or anything like that. So it was pre-recorded, and beforehand, people knew about this. This isn't like he shadow dropped the video. No, we knew about this for some time because Clayton was talking about it. Clayton and Mike both talked to Ernesto about it, and originally what they wanted to do is that Mike wanted it to be like just have them all on there. Ernesto, Dirty Low, Clayton, Mike, and then rooflemonger, and then so they could hash it out. And rooflemonger obviously didn't want to do it. That's why it's the way it is. But then Mike was like, okay, well, if he doesn't want to do it that way, just make it like a one-on-one. Like just let it be Clayton and rooflemonger, and then Ernesto and Dirty Low can just mediate. He didn't want that either. So what ended up happening is that Clayton and Mike both submitted screenshots to Ernesto so he could basically have them ready. So if rooflemonger basically said anything outlandish without backing it up, Ernesto could have screenshots to basically like hit him back with, with facts. But that didn't end up happening. Ernesto basically went with none of the above here. They gave him multiple options on what to do during the video, right? He didn't do anything. He literally just had rooflemonger up there, let him say his piece about Clayton. No evidence, no backing, nothing at all whatsoever. And I don't even know if Ernesto took a look at those screenshots, to be honest with you, with the way he was acting. I don't know what to say. Like me and Ernesto, like we're on good terms, right? I've talked to him in the comments. He seems like a chill dude. I have no hate towards him. I have a lot of respect to what he does because he's supposed to be the journalist guy of the FGC, right? But to see how badly he fumbled the bag here, I'm just completely speechless. Now, what I want to do here, I want to do a couple things here. First off, I want to just kind of go over the overview of what was said in the podcast or video. And then what I'm going to do after that is I have a couple of clips that I've selected that I want you guys to listen to. And then I'm going to give my response about. And once that is over, I'm just going to conclude everything. Just going to give my final thoughts. So let's talk about the first part. So during the whole podcast, basically rooflemonger's demeanor is basically just, he basically thinks it's all a joke. Like, haha, I was just trolling. Like, there's even a point where he's telling Clayton, hey, Clayton, I know you're watching this. Happy 10th anniversary or something like that of our beef, which is just like, if I were Clayton, dude, I don't know how Clayton must be feeling, but I think he would be furious if he saw that. And I know that he made a video shortly after the video went up, but yeah, it's not a good look for rooflemonger. He just thinks it's all a big joke, and even his apology, as you will see later on, he has an apology where it's not even an apology. It's just like I didn't know you had cancer. Whoops, my bad. And you'll see that too. I actually have that clip too, so you guys can see that. And for the most part, for the first half of this podcast, keep in mind this is a 50-minute video. For a good half of it, they're talking about the virtual fighter drama, which keep in mind I didn't go over this in my last video. The reason I didn't go over this in my last video is because I wanted to make this about Clayton, not about the virtual fighter drama. But I'll go over that a little bit here. So to recap, basically there was this one leak that had gameplay of Virtua Fighter that obviously wasn't supposed to come out yet. rooflemonger showed the leak on his channel, talked about it. His video got copyright striked by Sega. He then went on he went on a rant on Twitter. He had like a meltdown, basically saying that, oh, I do it again too, blah blah blah. And I'll have screenshots of this too, by the way, so you guys can read it. And actually, as a matter of fact, I have him right here. Hold on. I almost forgot about that. Let me open him right up. Like I said, I'll have these up as well so you guys can read them for yourself. Okay, so here's the tweet. Sega has copyright struck my Virtua Fighter leaked news video. They are well within their rights to do so. However, I would gladly do it again. To be fully clear, reporting news is my job, and threat of strikes has not stopped me before. It won't stop me in the future. Here's to Virtua Fighter 6. Now, keep in mind, he himself calls that because it's not like he talked about a leak like with Call of Duty. He showed gameplay. of a leak. So he himself knew what he was getting into with that. So he can't really say, "Oh, I didn't know that that's what would happen." But he's saying he'd do it again. Then to follow up on that, I think he was responding to Dell here. Then this next tweet, Dell Walker, who's a developer. I think he worked with Sega before, but basically Dell was telling like, just so you know that leaking, like talking about leaks and like showing them off has it damages like the productivity of the overall game, because he actually went on a stream and he was talking about how whenever stuff gets leaked, basically it has a lot of damage to the game, because what happens is that when something gets leaked, the publisher will basically stops development of the game. They like halt it, and basically they do like an internal review of who was responsible for the leak. And yeah, that takes time and resources. So he was telling rooflemonger that, and rooflemonger's grade A response was also good timing on that one. Idiots, everyone knows, and all you did was hit the game's biggest cheerleader in the face for selling you copies. LMAO. Anyway, by the way, this is my favorite response here, just so you know. And keep in mind, later on, he's just gonna say that he was just trolling, and that that's just how he is. It's all just a troll. Anyways, anyone who's ever struck me either apologizes or pays me back in the end somehow. This won't be different either. By the way, he's talking to Sega here. He's saying that anyone who's ever struck me either apologizes or pays me back in the end somehow. And this was directed at Sega, so this was not a smart move, by the way. I can't believe that he actually said that. But yeah. So that's the Virtual Fighter drama. So for the first half of this 50-minute video that he's got on with Ernesto and Frame Checked, they're basically talking about that, which at this point, nobody gives a shit about. Nobody cares about the Virtual Fighter drama. That was like 2 weeks ago. Nobody cares. What people are wanting to know about is the Clayton stuff and the other stuff that's been going on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play the first clip, and you guys can basically listen, and I'll give my response to that.
With some certain things that were said about him and another man named Clayton. What's Clayton's last name? You know?
Clayton Chapman.
Clayton
Come on,
Chapman.
get it right. Mr. Button Check.
Listen, there was a reason, and I told everybody why this wasn't on Button Check, was because it was not a news story coverage. It was literally like, I'm a big fan of Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco Nightcap, right? Shannon Sharp has his interviews where he does his research, and he has Nightcap where they kind of just shoot the shit as guys, right? Just talking. And that's what I wanted this channel to be. That's why I said this is not Button Check, right? This is Frame Trap, like a podcast, and this is Bogus Journeys on Sundays, coming in about 2 months. That's why we covered it and talked exactly the way we did. But I get it. People are not used to this format and channel. They're used to seeing me on Button Check. So they're probably looking at this like a news story and like, Ernesto, where's the screenshots and the receipts and all this stuff? Because I did get some of that in the comments. It's because purposely this channel is not that, y'all. When we talk about it on Button Check, I promise you it will be that. But some topics we just want to talk. It's more of a reaction. You know what I'm saying? We were even talking about we were even talking about the UFC fights and stuff like that. So
in this clip, Ernesto was basically talking about how the Frame Check, I think the Frame Trap channel is meant to just be a reactionary style content with his friends, and it's not meant to be like journalism, like here's the screenshots, here's this and that. And listen, my response to this is, if you're going to make a channel where you're just going to be reacting to stuff and it's just like silly topics, hanging out with your friends, cool, like, you know, you do that, right? But you can't cover serious topics and do interviews like this without having no idea what's going on. I am almost certain that Ernesto has no clue about what went on with Clayton and rooflemonger. I'm pretty sure the only thing he probably knows is the tweets that rooflemonger made with the cancer tweets back in 2018. That's probably all he really knows about it. And yeah, like it's not a good look. You're a journalist in the FGC. This isn't your first news coverage. And you've been doing this for what, like over 10 years now? You should really know better, Ernesto. I'm really disappointed.
So I covered the leak and I got copyright striked, and I was definitely a big, how much can I swear in this?
Anything
as much as you want. Anything you want.
I was definitely a big pissy baby. I'm not here to sugarcoat it, right? To give some level of excuse before I apologize, the copyright strike happened. There we go. Happened right before my father's funeral, so I was not having it in the moment. Let's put it that way, right?
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever been copyright striked. It ain't great.
No, not at all.
It ain't great. Because even if it's like when it's the bad kind, like 3 strikes you're out, right? It does go away eventually, but it messes with your algorithm. So like it's gonna put you in a way no matter what, right?
Yeah.
And considering it was right before my dad's funeral, not in a good mood, went into big jerk mode on multiple levels, acted like a jerk, was a jerk to other people. Unequivocally, fully, I apologize for everything. I was in the wrong.
Okay.
Like I said, I was just in a bad state. I was in a bad way. Anything I said, and if I came up like if I came off a jerk, I came off like a jerk. Like I have the benefit of hindsight. I'm nothing but sorry for that. That's all my bad. It was in a raw moment, and nothing but apologies. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's what's up. Because I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just about to say specifically on the Sega stuff too. Like I did talk to Sega, and like it's all water under the bridge.
Oh really? Okay, okay, that's good to hear. Like because even
I found that interesting. Yeah, because you posted Virtual Fighter stuff like a little bit after all this controversy. So I was like, and you went and toured, and did the Stranger Than Heaven like background stuff and coverage, and it was awesome.
Happened, and like, don't worry, they knew. They weren't unaware I acted like a jerk, right?
Oh, okay.
But it was water under the bridge. I had multiple Sega appointments, including stuff I don't think I'm ever allowed to talk about, which is funny. Normally, stuff has like an expiry date.
Okay.
Some of this was like, you can never talk about this ever. But yeah, so I did my Sega appointments. Obviously, I'm still covering Virtua Fighter. I'm a bit of a fan of the franchise. Once again, I acted like a jerk. I'm nothing but sorry for that. My bad. Wish I could take that one back. Don't get me wrong. I don't regret reporting the leak. I'm a news guy. That was legitimate news. I know some people think I'm the one who leaked. Like, don't work. Like, 1 million people saw that leak before I even made the video, right? Like, I have never, to my knowledge, leaked anything ever. I will report on leak after it happens, or if something goes wide, like say the Tifa thing, right? The Tifa thing, after it went very wide, I'm like, yep, that's sort of what I heard too. But I knew I first heard about Tifa almost a year ago, and like till it got out there, I didn't say nothing, right?
Okay,
so,
right.
So 2 things with what he just said there. So the first thing is that thing where he says that he'll do it again. He apologized, but he'll do it again. Now, I think it's pretty crazy to say that to Sega after the fact that you basically covered leaks like that. And you know full well what that does to game development and the developers that are working on the game. But hey, whatever, right? Second thing, nobody thinks that he leaked the game. I don't know what. Well, actually, I know where he's getting that from, but I'm gonna get to that in a bit. But nobody in their right mind has been saying that he was leaking the game. Nobody thinks that. We know who the leaker is. It's a Chinese guy. That he posted it on like a Chinese forum or something. That's where the leak came from. And then from there, people were sharing it. And the only people that think that he leaked the game are his own fan base. Unironically enough, the reason why is because he himself planted that idea into them to make himself look like the victim. Because he basically, when he was on Twitter, he basically portrayed the idea that, oh dang, I leaked it. I posted this leak, right? So now I got copyright striked. And he's basically changed it to people think I leaked it, and that's why I got copyright striked. They think that I'm responsible for the leak. Nobody thinks that, but he's been feeding his own fan base that idea.
So there's that. Second thing, getting out there, that old rooflemonger. Sometimes I'm a little bit of a jerk on Twitter, right? And sometimes it's like I'm trying to be a funny jerk, and people don't get the joke. I don't think I'm going to apologize for that, because that's just me. But sometimes I can swear. So sometimes I'm an asshole just for the sake of being an asshole. Like it's a long day editing video or something. And you know what? Honestly, like the people who've criticized me about that, you're right too. Like this isn't the something awful forum days anymore. Like the old forum troll persona I had, it's not necessarily befitting of the station I now hold. Like I'm supposed to be the educator, right? And then if you catch me on a bad day on Twitter, the educator just dunks on you. And like, that's not a good feel, right?
Right. Yeah. Right.
So for that, like the criticism of like, am I a jerk on Twitter? Like, yes. Should I tone back on that? Honestly, yeah. No. Yes, you're right. Like I should tone back on that. Yeah. So for people I've offended, once again, if I joked and you didn't get the joke, that's gotta be on you. I'm sorry. But past just me being a jerk for being a jerk's sake, my bad. I'm sorry. I will try to be better on that.
Notice his hesitation on saying, should he tone it back? Yeah, no, yeah. That tells all right there. And also, let's talk about that. What he just said there. He was just trolling, and that it's all jokes. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that's a pretty fucked up joke to go around telling somebody that he's faking cancer for 10 plus years, and that's just one dude. You know, that there are other people that he's fucked with over the years, and to say that it's all jokes, it's just trolling them. That's a very extensive troll to go like 10 plus years worth of trolling. That's a really lame excuse.
But it's been a long-standing thing that's like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, YouTube rooflemonger, Twitter rooflemonger are very different people, right?
He doesn't even deny it. He's just straight up said it there. It's a long-standing known joke that people say that he's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. He's on camera, he's Dr. Jekyll, camera goes off, Mr. Hyde. And keep in mind, this isn't new. Like, this has been going on for years and years. I've heard some crazy stories about him, about how he... Basically, there was this one story, I can't remember who it was, but it was from way back in 2023, where he wanted to collaborate with somebody. They were kind of, I guess they were like collaborating for a bit, and rooflemonger wanted like a large portion of the profits, and when that didn't happen, he basically like went on a slander campaign on the dude, and the dude basically just ended up quitting the internet for a while. So, yeah.
Okay. An old man, Clayton Chapman. Clayton... Buddy, I know you're watching. We're nearing our 10-year anniversary, actually. Can you believe that? It's almost been 10 years for us.
Just the way he says that, 10 years. Oh, Clayton. The way he says that is like, Clayton, can you believe that I've been fucking with you for 10 plus years now? That's crazy. Like, it's all a big joke to him.
Whenever Dragon Ball FighterZ came out, that's when it all started.
That's what it seemed like, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
So for this, how do I phrase it? How do I even phrase this? So long story short, we don't like each other. We never have. Just a little bit of background. So our tiff, I don't even remember the particulars. But something. I saw him badmouth me on the Shoryuken forums. And so something. Okay, let's go. Like that was my mindset 8.5 years ago, right? When Dragon Ball FighterZ came out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And since then, we've been through a lot, but the thing is, our fight actually wasn't that long in the grand. Like, we fought on Shoryuken, we fought on Twitter, we fought on Reddit, we fought on forums you never even heard of. But reality, it was about 3, maybe 4 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some people ask me, like, why don't you be the bigger man and walk away? And like, to be real, that's all I've done since then.
This is a lie, by the way. Clayton has screenshots of this too, but the two of them were actually well acquainted, and I'm not sure if they, like, Clayton says that they were at least somewhat friends, but you can't really see that from the screenshots. But from the screenshots that he has shown us, it does seem that they were at least on good terms. But in those screenshots, they're basically responding to each other's videos. So Clayton would go to rooflemonger's YouTube channel and vice versa, and they were basically leaving each other comments, and they were actually chill with one another. But the whole fight about the forum, that's not true either, because Clayton has screenshots of basically where it all went down. Apparently one of his friends, I think there is like a mutual friend thing, basically said that rooflemonger was not very happy with Clayton's video on the combo guide, because rooflemonger wanted it, and he felt that basically Clayton did him dirty and that he should have gotten the video done first. But that's where that came out.
And there does come the old Diddy, the old 8-year-old tweet. Oh, rooflemonger said he faked cancer, right? And for that, I'll say, okay, I was wrong. I apologize. Done. I've apologized specifically with some of the stuff, because like some of the stuff, yeah, I deserve to apologize for. So again, the freaking out about the Sega thing, apologies, being a jerk on Twitter, yeah, I'm sorry. And even then, even the Clayton, I said you fake cancer, my bad, I'm sorry. Can we walk away from this? I would love to.
That is the weakest apology I've ever heard and seen right there. That dude sat there for 10 plus years bullying Clayton and spreading lies about him, and then he's like, I guess you did have cancer. My bad. I was saying that you didn't have cancer, but you actually had cancer. My bad. Whoops. Silly me. That is a really shitty apology. It's not even an apology. I don't think he meant that. If he wants a real apology, well, I'll tell you what, rooflemonger, if you want a real apology, what you need to do is you need to, first off, basically you need to stop dodging Clayton and actually have a one-on-one conversation with him on camera, and you can apologize to him right there. Now, I'm not saying you need to apologize to him in person, but on camera, that would be one way to go about it. Now, whether or not Clayton forgives you, that's a whole different story, but it's better to apologize to him right there instead of not doing it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Now, I know if you go searching for this stuff and you can easily go to Clayton's channel and you can see his grievances.
Forever.
Yeah. And you can see where a lot of this is coming from. And it seemed like a lot of it's from 2018. But you can see his grievances of how apparently this has affected his life, from being ostracized from the community, being kept, maybe he should be owed more when it comes to pioneering tech, when like DBFZ. I mean, we can get information on his side of how this has affected him and how he feels. But we really don't know how this has affected you behind the scenes. Like, has this affected your life personally? Because it seems the beef on his side has affected his life detrimentally. But we don't know anything about your side.
That's the thing. I try, once again, all I've ever tried to do is walk away. So I don't explain my side. I just want to leave that in 8 years ago, and I can't. So to be fully real, I told you guys a thing behind the scenes. I am not comfortable mentioning it in public.
Understood.
But you guys heard it, and you make the judgment call. But to me, it's really messed up, right?
So that right there, what he just said, that's not the first time he said that. He's been saying that for years now about how he's been affected personally. And like whenever he goes out in public, apparently, I said this in my last video, I'm pretty sure too, but he never ever elaborates on what he means by that. He just says that he's been affected. But whenever people press on him, like how affected you, how, he says he doesn't want to go into it because it's personal. He doesn't want to dox himself, this, that, and whatever, right? And right here, he tries to do the same thing. Now, I don't know what he told Ernesto. Apparently, he told Ernesto how he was being messed with in his private life. I don't know. Only Ernesto really knows. But Clayton has actually gone in-depth as to how he's being messed with. I've said this in my last video, but he's had moments where he's gone to, like, let's say tournaments, right? Or like fighting game venues. He's had moments where he goes there and some guy who recognizes him basically goes over and harasses him about his cancer. And like, you guys see, I don't know if it's from a movie or a show, but you guys ever seen that one scene where there's a guy on a wheelchair and there's this other guy who doesn't believe him and is jealous of the attention that he's getting? He basically like grabs him from behind like the wheelchair and then dumps him. Like he like dumps his body. It's like, stop, like get up and start walking, stop faking it. That's essentially what they're doing to Clayton. Like, there's a guy that walked up. He told a story about how some guy walked up and took off his hat. He's like, take off the cancer hat. And that's pretty messed up. And that's just one of like many stories he's had. But rooflemonger, who supposedly has had interactions as well, refuses to elaborate. And this is just a running theme with rooflemonger. He refuses to elaborate, shows no evidence, shows no images. It's just, it does not look good on his part. And keep in mind, the images that I've shown in my video, right? Those are the same images that other people are showing on their videos. So this is all public knowledge. I have his medical records. This is not like a secret thing where I doxed him. This is all public knowledge that he let everybody else see and gave the green light to talk about it. Now, the images that I have seen, those are only a part of the vast majority, the whole thing of that what Clayton has posted. Because if I were to actually go in depth and show every single image that he would let us post, we'd be here all day. There's a bunch of images, and that's just stuff that he has public. He has other images private that he's not going to show because he doesn't want to get doxxed because it's got his personal information on it. But yeah.
Which has led to one guy slandering me for 8 years straight with no pushback, right? So it's only ever been his side of the story because I just want to walk, like, and now it's kind of boiled over again. I feel, okay, let's, for one time ever, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Has this drama affected the channel? Has all the recent drama affected the channel recently? You don't see a lot of negative comments or
like,
a lot of changes to the viewership?
No, the viewership's been perfectly. Let me double check. Like 25K, 20. Yeah, viewership's normal. I think I lost a couple subscribers. Actually, I only noticed that subscribe because of you guys. I'm like, why did the subscribers dip today? And that's when I found out you guys made the video.
No.
He lost 1,000 subs on the day that Mike Hollow posted that video. When Mike Hollow posted the first video, he lost 1K subs immediately, basically overnight. And that was just his video. When other people started uploading their videos, he started losing more sub counts. And people were going over to his channel and like basically saying unsubbing, I'm unsubbing, like saying like, why did you do this? And rooflemonger is just deleting everything so people can't see those comments. and that's nothing new. He's known to do that. But yeah, there's screenshots of that as well that people have took. So if you want to like see those, you can go on Twitter. There's plenty of them circling around. But him saying that the reason he lost a couple subs was because of Ernesto, that's also a lie, because all you have to do, if this is something that rooflemonger does, is a really good manipulator, right? But he's not smart enough to cover his tracks, right, when he lies. Because all anybody has to do, you can just go to Social Blade right now, look up his channel, and you'll see that when he lost off the vast majority of that initial 1K subs, that was from 2 weeks ago when Mike uploaded that video. What he's talking about right now about Ernesto's video, I think that was like 4 days ago or something like that, so that doesn't add up. And then this is not even taking into account the other subs that he's lost over the couple of days when the other content creators were covering the discussion. But yeah, that's also a lie. And also, to add on to the first thing he just said there, he says that people have been letting Clayton slander him for 8 years straight. That's not true. I don't know. This is just like, it's just cope. That's what it is. Like, I don't know why he even brought that up.
The usual hate brigade stuff like, I'm glad your father died. And then the next comment is like, how come rooflemonger deleted comments? Like, of course I not. What, you expect me to interact with I'm glad your father died comment?
Yeah.
Like,
well,
are you crazy? What?
Yeah. And I did hear that. I didn't really talk to Dirty Low about that, but I don't know if it's true. But I said that on the video. I said, I don't think his channel is affected much because, Mike dropped that video about 2 weeks ago and it got like a lot of numbers and over like 1,600 comments. And I did see some people saying, I'm going to unsub, right? And I looked at your
I'm sure some
numbers.
people have, yeah.
Nobody was making fun of him because his dad died. I actually went in and personally checked as well because he was making up those lies already on Twitter. I went in and looked. Nobody was saying that. All everybody was saying was like, what you did to Clayton was disgusting. Own up to what you did to Clayton. Own up what you did to this guy. Why are you deleting comments? Why did you leak? Not why did you leak? Why did you cover the Sega leaks and put video footage of it on your channel? And he deleted that too. So that your people are making fun of his dad and that's why he's deleting comments, that's a lie. Now, there's probably 1 or 2 people that were doing that, and to be fair, I didn't see any of that, but neither has anybody else, so I don't know. Maybe that could have happened, but to the extent that he's saying, definitely not. And that's about the last clip that I have to show. Now, those were all the clips I had ready to show for you. Now, keep in mind, the whole 50 minutes of this video was just like this. It's just him rambling on about Clayton, not owning up to his to what he's done, no accountability, just constantly deflecting, gaslighting, no evidence, nothing. And then the thing that really gets me about this, right, is that Ernesto is just sitting there just letting it happen, even though he knows full well that he's sitting on screenshots that could just debunk anything rooflemonger says, but he chooses not to. And then Dirty Low, the guy at the bottom, listen, I have no issue with him either, but why is he even on here? That dude said like 3 things. He asked like 3 things throughout the whole time, but the rest of the time he's just sitting there and just staring into the camera, either laughing or smiling. Like, I don't know what's so funny. This isn't a joke, You got a guy on here that's been accused of some serious allegations, and you're sitting here on camera just basically having a good time, Like, this isn't one of those times, But yeah, as for back to Ernesto. So for Ernesto, what he could honestly do to recover from this is that he, at this point, needs to have either Mike or Clayton on and let them say their piece, because we already know that rooflemonger isn't going to interact with either of them, because that was the whole plan, but rooflemonger ducked. And I actually have a good theory. Now, I don't want to assume anything, but it really looks this way, so I'm going to just say my piece here. I think the reason Ernesto didn't show those screenshots was because rooflemonger probably gave him an ultimatum of either you no screenshots, no nothing like that, because if you do that, then I'm not going to, it'll be a no-show. Either just have a conversation or nothing, And I think that's the ultimatum he gave Ernesto. And as to why Ernesto would let him do that is, I think Ernesto is, I don't know if excited is the word, but rooflemonger is a really, really big YouTuber, right? He's got like 200 and some thousand subs. He's an anime YouTuber, so he has a big audience. Ernesto has a couple thousand subs. He's just the news guy for the FGC, so having a really big guest on there, basically, if you get what I'm saying, That would do a lot for his numbers. Now, I'm not saying that's why he did that, but I have a feeling that that's what happened. And I really hope Ernesto does a better job in the future. He really has to he has to do Clayton right by this. He has to let Clayton and either Clayton or Mike or somebody that's friends with Clayton represent him and be on there and let him say his piece, because at this point, what he has done more harm to Clayton's image than good by doing this. And keep in mind, this isn't the first fuck up. The first fuck up was a couple days ago when he did that video talking about the serious allegations that were going on. But he didn't even cover the serious allegations. He was only talking about the virtual fighter stuff. So this video was meant to fix that, but it just made that video look basically really good, because this is 10 times worse than that video. It's honestly, I don't know what he was thinking. I can't believe that he sat there, recorded this for 50 minutes. And by the way, I don't know if you guys noticed, but if you ever watch that video, go back and watch it. You'll notice that it's heavily edited. There's a lot of stuff they said that we don't know what they said. And that's normal most of the time, right? But there's a lot of that in this video. So I don't know what they were talking about. And only him and Dirty Low know. But yeah, so as for Ernesto, he really has to do better. He has to let Clayton on there. Like, I cannot stress this enough, because if he doesn't invite them, basically what's going to end up happening is that rooflemonger is going to be the only guy that got his point across. And it's going to make Clayton look really, really bad, because aside from Mike, and I think there was another guy on there, there's another guy that had him on his live stream. There's really like nobody that's platforming Clayton and letting him say his truth, only rooflemonger's truth. And it just really sucks. But to end this, right? I know there's a lot of people that were asking me that, why are you getting involved, right? Why are you getting involved? I already said this in the first video, why I'm getting involved, but there's a couple people that are obviously like fucking like smooth brain, that they don't understand the situation. They're like, you're just now saying this because it's popping off right now, right? That's not true. I've been saying this for many, many months. As a matter of fact, let's go back to 2023 when I first joined the FGC, right? I got into the FGC because of Mortal Kombat 1. When that game was coming out, that's when I started interacting with the MK community. And even back then, right, I was hearing some gnarly stuff about rooflemonger. I was hearing this, that, and whatever, right? And at the time, I didn't even know who he was. I had to look him up. I was like, oh, okay, so he's the guy, right? But I was hearing some crazy things about him over the years. And I even had a couple people basically approach me on social media going like, hey, yo, just so you know, Dragon Eye, do not interact with rooflemonger. Don't do anything with him, because he will burn you. He has been known to do this. But anybody who's ever worked with him has had some crazy stories about him, because on camera, he's the nicest guy you've ever met. But off camera, once that camera goes off, he's one of the worst people you've ever met. And I've always been told that. So this is not like a new thing. I've been saying this for months. I've been talking about the Clayton situation for many, many months off camera. And hell, if you want proof of this, you can actually go back like 3 months ago when I was talking about the main man suite situation. There's a part where I'm talking about the rooflemonger situation for a little bit there. And I have a clip of this too, so I'm going to put that up there. But if you don't believe me, you can watch the video for yourself. He said the same thing about rooflemonger. And like, look, rooflemonger isn't a nice dude, especially after all the stuff that Clayton has said about him. Where, if you guys don't know, a couple years ago, I think at this point, Clayton was in the hospital with cancer. And rooflemonger told a bunch of his boys to go slander Clayton, saying that he was faking his cancer. And then while all that was going on, rooflemonger was stealing Clayton's content. So I know those two have beef, and rooflemonger's not a good dude for sure. But that's kind of weird that he brought him up now out of all times, when he could have done so like literally any time before this. To end everything off, right? I don't know if there's going to be a part 3 to this. I genuinely do not. From what I understand it, I think Mike said that he's going to try to get into contact with Ernesto to see if they can basically appear on it and say their piece, but I don't know to what extent resolution is going to be had. Whether or not anything happens after that, I guess it'll be up to rooflemonger, Ernesto, and Mike at this point. But yeah, I don't know if there's going to be a part 3. If there is a part 3 to this where I need to cover something, I'll make another video, and I'll try to save these 2 videos so I can basically condense them into one video if for whatever reason enough time has passed to get people to get caught up. But yeah, hope you guys have a good rest of your day. This has been Dragon Eye, and peace.